check this out. So this is Big Tug. Never heard of him before. So he is going to be telling us, okay, Technopath, I hope you're able to make it back. He's going to tell us why breakfast kinda sucks. So let's see how we've been doing it all wrong these years, chat.
Breakfast. Truly the best version of an American meal regularly available to the consumer. You got eggs, you got bacon, you got ham, you got buttered toast, something that is truly in my top 5 foods of all time. Then it can get decadent. You can have chocolate chip pancakes, Belgian waffles, French toast, and if that's not good enough for you...
I'm telling you right now, chat, French toast, S tier. 100% S tier French toast. And if you want to go beyond S tier, Cracker Barrel French toast. Cracker Barrel French toast is, without question, my all-time favorite food. I fucking love the Cracker Barrel French toast. That is probably Cracker Barrel has probably the best French toast and bacon I've ever had. Because their French toast is fucking delicious. And their bacon is like thick applewood smoked bacon. It is so good. I'm drooling just thinking about it. I may need to go eat something after this video. But, that's my opinion. I fucking love French toast.
You can just go ahead and pour more sugar sauce on top of those things.
I will agree with that,
rules
Aaron.
And safety do not apply. But what if I told you this world of over-easy smiley faces and Snoopy-shaped waffles was all but a lie? Breakfast as we know it is just a thin veil over a horrifying reality. Like that room in my apartment where I shove all my dirty clothes before I have people come over. Since its inception, the concept of breakfast is a flawed system that was only invented for the most nefarious of means. So come with me while I explain that the most important meal of the day is actually the dumbest and stupidest meal of the day. I could have stuck the landing on that better. I could have said something cooler. So to understand why breakfast is the joke that it is today, we need to start at the beginning of this horrible historic meal. And historically, that would be around the 13th century, I guess. Back then, Thomas Aquinas wrote the Summa Theologica, a comprehensive collection of Catholic theology. Did you guys expect to hear about the Catholics in this video? Because I certainly didn't. The Summa Theologica is about 3,000 pages long, and it explains the important things like the eternal nature of God, the creation of the world, and for some reason, the dangers of breakfast. Aquinas claimed that eating in the morning led to gluttony, one of the 7 deadly sins. You know, pride, greed, lust, envy, wrath, sloth, and the Denny's Grand Slamwich. To prevent gluttony...
Okay. This is new. So so chat of Christian or Catholic faith. Apparently you are committing sin by eating breakfast. For shame. Bet you didn't expect to hear that in this video.
The Europeans in the Middle Ages just didn't eat breakfast. Oh my god, how did they even get through their workday? In its essence, it was intermittent fasting, but before people were doing it to try and lose weight, and instead they were doing it at a time where you were counting your calories to ensure you didn't die in your sleep. But Aquinas was only echoing hundreds of years of Catholic teachings. For example, St. Gregory the Great said, "As long as the belly is unrestrained, all virtues come to naught." It's truly amazing how strict the Catholics were about keeping your tummy tight, and instead of things like exorbitant wealth or that other thing they're super known for. This extreme piousness also...
Wait, what movie was this?
Instead of things like exorbitant wealth or that other thing they're...
What is this about? I've not heard of this movie Spotlight. Is this about priests doing bad things? Like, is this someone trying to expose the Catholic Church or something? I never heard of the movie Spotlight, so I have no idea.
They're super known for. This extreme piousness also led to us calling it breakfast because, you know, you broke your fast. Now, I don't want to insult anyone's intelligence by explaining that, but I know there's at least one person in this audience that's thinking, oh my god, I never noticed that, and they're dumb, so I had to say it. Considering that fasting is supposed to show that you've conquered your desires of the flesh, it kind of makes breakfast an affront to God. So we have that going against breakfast at this point in the video. Now let's make a large jump in history all the way up to the Industrial Revolution. I understand that some important things happened between the 13th and 18th century, but for the sake of brevity, no it didn't, okay? So as we all know, work sucks. Sucks big wang. I hate work so much that I have made multiple videos about it. Looking for a job sucks, having a job sucks, and I know what you're thinking, oh Tucker, you don't even have a real job. You're just an internet clown who gets paid to have fun. But if modern jobs have given us...
Okay, the proper answer there, in response to that, would be like, yeah, sucks to suck, done it, internet. That would have been the proper response.
one positive thing, it would be breakfast. Or so we thought at one point before you watched this video. Up until the Industrial Revolution, certain segments of the population would eat in the morning, shamefully hiding it from God like a good Catholic boy. But that's because these jobs were physically demanding, like throwing around hay or collecting hay to throw around. But by the mid-18th century, manufacturing had started regulating working hours and ensuring tons of people had jobs in factories. Before the birth of factories...
Yeah, Bobcat, that's why churches are tax exempt. At least in North America. Because when they created the laws, they drank the Kool-Aid on that one and said, yeah, let's not tax the churches. That's why they're tax exempt.
Craftsmen were highly valued for their skill sets, but automation sadly devalued their expertise, something that will only happen once in history and we probably don't have to worry about it ever again. And as a result, more workers than ever had to answer to a boss. Womp womp. And these bosses came way before something like HR departments were around, let alone safe working conditions. Employees worked 6 14-hour shifts a week on average, which is insane, and you were often required to clean your machines during meal times. Factory floor managers were ruthless when they were imposing their rules, because what are you gonna do? This is the only mill within like 50 miles. You have to work here, and I'm gonna make you look like an idiot. Workers faced fines and even physical beatings if they stepped out of line. One common punishment was called strapping, which sounds horny, but it wasn't. This is where you were tied up and whipped with a thin leather strap for insubordination. Actually, that is pretty horny. That's actually shockingly.
I'll give him partially. I'll give him partially horny. The thin leather strap is a no bueno. The tied up part, I will accept wholeheartedly. I will allow it.
Horny. So all of this BS was a pretty good reason to eat food before you showed up. It wasn't like you could pop into the break room and eat a Cliff Bar if you felt your blood sugar getting low, because they would literally beat the shit out of you for eating a Go-Gurt on company time. When you think about it, the roots of breakfast had very little to do with personal enjoyment. It's always just been fuel for you to work harder. You're nothing but a machine powered by a bowl of grape nuts, objectively the worst food ever made by me.
And, okay, honesty time. This is not a whole hell of a lot different from some jobs. I know there are plenty of jobs that demand you do, like, granted, it's not 6 days a week, but that have you doing like 10, 12-hour days. That's not uncommon. Look at the freaking Amazon warehouses, for God's sake. I don't know how long their shifts are, but those are like, you can't even take a fucking bathroom break when you work in an Amazon warehouse. If you don't, your time regimen is so fucking strict. If you're literally 5 seconds off from their demands, you're fired. So it's like, let's not pretend like this is something that has gone the way of the dodo in terms of workers' rights. We've got the modern day variants of it. Yeah, sniper bait, there you go. 13 hours, 6 days a week. There you go. You're saying it. This kind of workload is still present to this day. Let's not pretend like this is something, this died off in the 18th century. No, it's still very much here today, and it's probably on the rise, honestly.
Man. So not only is breakfast an affront to God, it's also a tool used by the bourgeoisie to control the proletariat. Damn, only a few minutes into this video and we've already talked about Catholics and communism. I almost already have a tug bingo. Today we have safeguards to protect us against workplace abuse. The worst thing that could physically happen now is when your boss texts you a thumbs up emoji with no context. What the fuck does that mean? Are they mad at me?
I just want to know that Rachel's covering my Friday closing shift. She says it's fine by her. Okay.
Oh my god, are they gonna fire me? Why are they just giving me a thumbs up? But while we were busy fighting for workers' rights, we also acquired a taste for breakfast. According to a study from Ohio State University, at least 85% of Americans eat some form of breakfast every morning. This could be a healthy bowl of yogurt and granola, or a half pound of bacon and 3 bowls of cinnamon toast crunch, and most people fall somewhere.
I'm here. Right the fuck here, chat. Gimme. I know it's a dog thing, but bacon, it's bacon! Yeah, it's not a good idea, Brandon. It's a requirement.
Somewhere in the middle of those two extremes. In 2023, the global breakfast market netted $450 billion, which kind of makes sense. I mean, the breakfast aisle in a grocery store alone is probably $100,000 worth of merchandise. Why is fucking cereal so expensive? And at least part of breakfast's role in modern society comes from the notion that it's the most important meal of the day. And this, my comrades, is propaganda. Or as us capitalists call it, clever marketing. When Charles Post created grape nuts in 1897, dooming the world to a timeline of hate and confusion.
Wait. Grape nuts came out in 1897? I had no idea they came out that long ago. Holy fuck. That explains so much. That explains everything about this quote-unquote cereal.
Confusion, he said the sunshine that makes a business plant grow is advertising. He marketed grape nuts as, and this is a quote, food for brain and nerve centers. Now, I already shit on grape nuts like 3 times in this script, but I am not above hitting the same note. Not only does this horrendous excuse for a meal not include grape and or nuts, there's no way this is doing anything good for my nerves. If anything, it's making them slowly commit suicide due to a lack of will to exist. But marketing works the best on stupid people, so grape nuts sold pretty well. Then, in 1917, Kellogg's slogan upped the ante and gave us the classic, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. They just spoon-fed bullshit to people and they ate it with a smile. But it wasn't just the advertising that was questionable during this time period. Charles Post actually invented diseases that he claimed his cereals could cure. In addition to outright lying that it could cure things like consumption, malaria, and loose teeth. You know loose teeth, those things that you often deal with as an adult. Post's tradition of questionable breakfast science has continued on to this day. While the media and breakfast food companies love
Wait. Okay, let's back this up. This man is claiming... Okay, Chaos Hunter. This man is claiming that breakfast can cure consumption, malaria, and loose teeth, which his cereal probably actually caused. This is like snake oil shit right now. Because, and let's face it, this is back during time of the snake oil salesman, so it kind of fits. Like, and well, Patrick, you said the guy who made cornflakes also thought it would prevent masturbation. See, the guy who created cornflakes, Dr. Kellogg, I guess, claimed that eating cornflakes would stop guys from jerking it due to it being bland. Oh my sweet fuck. Really? So he actually made the claim that if you ate bland cereal, a guy would not want to jerk off. He claimed circumcision would stop it? Okay, this is just all shades of fuck my life at this point. He claimed both. Oh, because of course he claimed both. Because the shotgun approach. Let's do the shotgun approach. We're just gonna throw everything at the wall and see what the fuck sticks. Oh my sweet fuck. Alright, let's see how this gets worse.
Malaria and loose teeth. You know loose teeth, those things that you often deal with as an adult. Post's tradition of questionable breakfast science has continued on to this day. While the media and breakfast food companies love touting studies that show favorable results from eating their products, many of the studies that say that people who eat breakfast are healthier are, and this might come as a surprise, funded by the people who are making the goddamn breakfast foods. If that sounds like
Chat. This is my expression of shocked and amazement that the people claiming breakfast foods are good are funded by the breakfast foods. Ready? Here we go. Can you see the shock, chat? I am floored by this statement. I do not know how I will ever recover. Moving on.
Bad science, that's because it is the...
Oh, thank you, Llama. And Chaos Hunter, refresh your stream so you don't get any more ads.
Definition of bad science. The food industry just pays off scientists to say whatever the hell they want. For example, Kellogg's funded a highly cited article that said eating breakfast makes you skinnier, which just at a glance is full of so much bullshit. Hey, if you eat more food, especially...
Yeah, and on its fucking face. Eating more breakfast does not make you skinnier. The more shit you cram into your stomach, the bigger said stomach gets. Even if you don't look at science, you look at fucking logic. And you know, this is not true. Yeah, I mean, Jenny Craig is basically working off the same fucking principle. Eat more and you're gonna be skinnier.
Ones covered in sugar and carbs, you'll get skinnier, said the dipshit. And to this day, nothing about modern breakfast evokes self-respect, let alone self-health. And yet everything is marketed as a part of a balanced breakfast. What the fuck even is a balanced breakfast at this point? Well, you know what? I googled it. And when you Google what is a balanced breakfast, the very first result is a page from Kellogg's. A balanced breakfast can be a mix of carbohydrates, fiber, protein, vitamins, and minerals. Doesn't that sound fantastic? I'm sure Kellogg's is hitting all of those fucking marks. Even if their advice is nutritionally sound, it is 100% bullshit. When it comes to what we, as Americans, traditionally eat for breakfast, we are fully brainwashed. Yeah, other countries like Britain are eating beans on toast and congealed blood goo, which might have some vitamins in it. But studies show that despite the fact that many traditional breakfast items are nutrient deficient, Americans still believe these breakfast staples are well suited for the meal, like pancakes.
Hang on.
Nutrient deficient, Americans still believe these...
How many North Americans, this is not just America itself, how many Americans go, donut, breakfast food? Absolutely everybody says donut equals breakfast food. Pancakes, which he's about to get to. Pancakes slathered in sugary syrup and shit tons of butter. Breakfast food. And I will posit this as well. A balanced breakfast is very dependent.
Cheer 100 Kellogg wasn't an actual doctor, just a self-proclaimed one. He also opened a sanatorium in Battle Creek, Michigan, where people would come hoping his treatments would cure their cancer and other ailments, which of course it never did. It eventually evolved into being a trendy retreat for the celebrity class of the 1900s.
Shocking there. When it comes to breakfast, I will postulate this. A quote-unquote balanced breakfast is very dependent upon your lifestyle. If you are an individual who does hard physical labor as your job on a daily basis, then a balanced breakfast would involve a lot of carbohydrates and fiber, because that is what produces energy for you to do said physical labor. So that's why laborers and athletes, their breakfast contains a fuck ton of
Steak,
carbohydrates.
bacon, and coffee balanced.
Whereas someone who is not a physical laborer, a balanced breakfast for them might be some fruit, some coffee, and maybe some toast. Because they don't need those calories and those carbohydrates to generate energy because they are not engaged in physical labor. So that's what's often neglected in the whole part of a quote-unquote balanced breakfast. It very much depends upon your lifestyle. And yes, proteins. Proteins, of course. Again, for the physical laborers, because the proteins are good for, oh god, what's the word? The lactic acid in your muscle groups, because you use your muscle groups a lot. So, if they'd said that, maybe I could have agreed with them. But they didn't. They just basically did the blanket statement to try and sell more cereal.
breakfast staples are well suited for the meal, like pancakes. Let's pause for a moment. Let's listen to that word again. Pancakes. You're eating cake for breakfast. Same goes for waffles or French toast. This is some of the worst shit you can put in your body, and you're doing it first thing in the morning. And then there's the meat we traditionally eat in the morning, and my god, is that a shit show. A big reason our breakfast remains so meat heavy is thanks to a fellow named Edward Louis Bernays, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but I don't give a fuck. In the 19th century, indigestion, aka tummy aches, was so widespread that it was known as America's national disease. Bernays, known as the father of public relations, was in charge of PR for the Beech Nut Company, and Beech Nut sold bacon. Which thematically, well, I would think they sell coconuts because that is the beech nut, but whatever, they can sell meat. That didn't make sense back then, and it doesn't make sense now. But even though Beech Nut was selling bacon, a product known to cause indigestion, Bernays somehow convinced a doctor to say that a protein-rich diet like eggs and bacon in the morning is better than a light...
Pactra? I've seen it. I know exactly the routine you're talking about. Was it for breakfast though? Or was it for... Yeah, you're right. It was for breakfast. But yeah, I know exactly the routine you're talking about where he goes to get some cake early in the morning before the kids wake up. The kids catch him and they say, "We want some chocolate cake." And he basically rationalizes it. Eggs, milk, bread. It's all part of the breakfast foods. And so, boom, he gives them a slice of chocolate cake. Yes, I heard that routine.
Lighter meal. Somehow, back then, a doctor was stupid enough to let that happen. He then sent that statement to 5,000 other doctors who also signed it. Doctors
hang on.
sell coconuts because that is the beech nut, but whatever, they can sell meat. That didn't make sense back then, and it doesn't make sense now. But even though beech nut was selling bacon, a product known to cause indigestion, Bernays somehow convinced a doctor to say that a protein-rich diet like eggs and bacon in the morning is better than a lighter meal. Somehow, back then, a doctor was stupid enough to let that happen. He then sent that statement to...
Was the doctor stupid enough? Or did the doctor receive a couple dollar reduce to say that bacon helps indigestion? Oh, I suspect it might be the latter.
Better than a lighter meal. Somehow, back then, a doctor was stupid enough to let that happen. He then sent that statement to 5,000 other doctors who also signed it, also stupid. But the prospect of Americans eating so much bacon that their stomachs would stop hurting was somehow too delicious to ignore. And it's a tradition we carry on to this day by eating these literal strips of poison every morning. Bacon is so bad for you, dude. It is unbelievably bad for you.
Heresy. Do not touch my fucking bacon. I love my bacon and I will defend my bacon with my life. You can take my bacon from my cold, dead paws.
I love it, but I know it's terrible. Bacon is an extremely processed meat that has been linked to all kinds of terrible shit, like heart disease, stroke, and even cancer. And honestly, we can keep talking about bacon, but I don't even think I shat on cereal hard enough. I didn't...
Okay, I'm pausing a lot here, but... saying bacon is linked to cancer? Everything in the modern age can be linked to fucking cancer. How much shit in the modern day have you heard is a link to cancer? Yes, everything is a link to fucking cancer right now. So I'm sorry, that statement, making the statement, oh, it's linked to cancer, sorry, does not fly anymore. Because literally everything is fucking linked to cancer. You could say literally anything can cause cancer. You could say fucking water causes cancer. That doesn't fly anymore. Not to me. Trying to tell me, oh, don't do that, it can cause cancer, it means nothing to me anymore. That's the same as any other, that's the same as like any DEI argument that somebody tries to pull on me and I just go, yeah, you're fucking out of your mind. It means nothing. It is, again, it's one of these overused, it is, again, an overused statement that no longer holds any kind of meaning.
shit on that as badly as it deserved. We need to go back to cereal. Americans have this weird fantasy of waking up eating one of those beautiful sitcom breakfasts in the morning so we grow up big and strong, like Johnny Appleseed. But in reality, most Americans don't have the time or stomach fortitude to eat that kind of big a breakfast every single morning. In terms of time, we work way more than our European counterparts. And that's not me shitting on the Europeans. I know it's very American to be like, you got soft hands, son, start working more. But like, I would rather not work as much as we do. On average, Americans rack up 400 more office hours per year than Germans, and that's like 10 extra weeks more. So in the morning, we need something quick and easy.
I'm gonna point out, working more than Germans, and that's because a lot of European countries get much more time off for things like vacations. I remember hearing something about this is where European businesses, they work 6 hours a day? Okay. So Germans do work 2 hours a day less on average. But also across most European countries, they are far better in terms of workers getting vacations as well. Being able to take vacation time and not having to worry about paying your fucking bills. So that's, I mean, it's one point. Yeah, paid time off, sick time, maternity time, vacation time. Like I think every European worker from the get-go, when you start a job, you get like 2 weeks vacation. At least I think, and it's like fully paid. There's no bullshit. If you get sick, you can actually take sick time. All that good stuff. Whereas, like, especially in America, and in Canada too, you don't really get that. Like, okay, for perfect example, the last job I had. Do you wanna know how I got my vacation time? I never took I took like one vacation. When I was at my last job, I was at my last job for several years. And I took vacation for one reason and one reason only. Because my family literally offered to not only pay for my flight, because I took my vacation in America. They not only offered to pay for my flight, were going to put me up in their home, pay for practically fucking everything, and offered to basically pay the wages I would not be earning while I was there. That was the only reason why I could take vacation, because the way my job worked is you didn't stack up vacation days. Oh yeah, K-Dog, my family is fucking based. That was unbelievably generous of them to do that. I couldn't believe it. That was incredibly generous. Because the way my old job did vacation, you did not accrue vacation days or even accrue vacation pay. What they did to nicely fuck me over is my vacation pay was included in my normal salary, not even salary. My paycheck included my pay for vacation. So every paycheck that I received, which bearing in mind, I barely made enough money to live. I was constantly struggling. With the paycheck that I was earning at my last job, I was constantly struggling every month, trying to weigh bills and, utilities and food and all of that. I was struggling like every month. And my vacation pay was included in the money that I would receive with every paycheck. So the only option I would have to take vacation is to take that money from that paycheck and put it into a savings account or something and not touch it when I needed it to just survive because I was paid shit. Because the rate of pay does not meet, these days, rate of pay does not match living expenses. So I could not save up any money for vacation because if I took vacation, no pay. I got 0 pay at my last job if I took vacation. My current job, if I want to take vacation, I actually have accrued vacation days that I can use, and I will actually receive vacation pay while actually on vacation. My last job didn't do that. The corporation fucked me majorly by doing that, by saying, oh yeah, you'll get vacation pay. It's going to be lumped in with your shitty ass paycheck. So you'll have to use it immediately to try and just survive. But we're still paying you vacation pay. So, again, we're going way the fuck off topic here. But that's why I didn't take vacation for many years, because I couldn't afford to. Because I didn't actually get vacation days.
That will fatten us up so the capitalistic system can tear us down. Something like cereal, the worst and best thing we have ever had a chance to ingest. Americans eat about 2.7 billion boxes of cereal a year, and I alone account for that number 7.
Chat. Quick question. 1 for yes, 2 for no. 1 for yes, 2 for no. Is he going to say cereal causes cancer? 1 for yes, 2 for no. What do you think? And if you've seen this video, don't say anything. No cheating. Is he going to say cereal causes cancer? Yeah, I agree. I bet he is.
That means on average, an American eats 14 pounds of cereal a year. Cereal was invented in 1863 by a fella named James Caleb Jackson, and I need you to buckle up because...
And by the way, 14 pounds of cereal per year is not that much. Let's be bluntly honest. 14 pounds of cereal per year is not a big deal. It really isn't. And yeah, I think we found Beard's ancestor.
This gets super dark unbelievably quickly. Jackson was a religiously conservative vegetarian who ran a medical sanitarium, okay? Did you write that down? It's gonna be on the test. Sanitariums were this weird mix between a spa and a hospital that were popular in the 19th and early 20th century to rehabilitate folks who had tuberculosis. If you've ever seen a John Green video, you know that tuberculosis was not chill and it was a big issue. Jackson had a patented thing called the graham flour dough, and it was healthy, but it was also hard and it needed to be soaked in milk overnight. He was feeding this stuff to people, and the reason why we put milk in cereal is because this shit needed to float in milk in order to be even a little bit edible. But don't worry, all of this gets demonstrably weirder and worse. Dr. John Harvey Kellogg, you know him, created his own version of Jackson's cereal, and he used it to promote eugenics? Dude, what the fuck? Kellogg wrote a paper called Needed, A New Human Race. That's how I'm starting this paragraph, where he encouraged everyone to become involved in eugenics. You know, that horrible thing. I'm not... Google eugenics if you don't...
God damn it. I did not think this was going to turn into fucking Dianetics. Somebody remind me, when was L. Ron Hubbard born? Was he born around the same time as, like, was he a young man around the time when Kellogg was pushing the shit? 'Cause that would explain a lot. He was born in 1911. When did he say Kellogg was doing this? I missed the date. Did he say when this was?
And it needed to be soaked in milk in order to be even a little bit edible. But don't worry, all of this gets demonstrably weirder and worse. Dr. John Harvey Kellogg, you know him, created his own version of Jackson's cereal, and he used it to promote eugenics? Dude, what the fuck? Kellogg wrote a paper called Needed, A New Human Race.
Okay, chat, I need to do some very fast research. Needed a new human race. Somebody find out when that paper was published. Someone please find out when that paper was published, because if that was published when I think it was, we now know what the inspiration for L. Ron Hubbard is.
That's how I'm starting this paragraph, where he encouraged everyone to become involved in eugenics. You know, that horrible thing. I'm not... Google eugenics if you don't know what I'm talking about. Cereal was fed to Kellogg's patients in the sanitarium under a program that he called Biologic Living. It was supposed to holistically...
1914. So L. Ron Hubbard was 3 years old. He probably pushed this for several years. L. Ron Hubbard was probably raised on this shit, which explains everything about L. Ron Hubbard. Okay. So he took Kellogg's ideas and went, let's add aliens. That's what happened. This man was raised on the idea of eugenics. And then when he went through the military, he thought, okay, I have the military discipline. And then he said, insert the History Channel meme guy here, aliens. And you have a new religion.
Cleanse the body and soul by helping with indigestion and masturbation. I mean, good lord, we were just talking about pancakes. Kellogg was so obsessed with masturbation that he actually recommended sewing foreskins shut and pouring carbolic acid on lady parts. Normal stuff.
Oh god. Chat, I'm clinching. And not in the fun way. Oh my fucking god. Burn this man with fire. Holy fuck. Yeah,
Boy, that escalated quickly.
Oh, he is indeed a sick fuck. Oh my god. Whoa. Jesus. Yes, Bacteria, I know you did. But I'm not sure you guys mentioned the sewing of the PP and basically pouring acid on the lady parts. I don't think that was mentioned. That was kind of omitted. Thank you for that, although we got slash bang bite anyway.
Normal human stuff, I would say. Other practices at Kellogg's Sanitarium included shock treatments and yogurt enemas. Good health. Mr. Kellogg, and I think this goes without saying, what?
Alright, shock treatments and enemas in a sanitarium. For the time period, not good, but not abnormal for that time period. Yes, K-Dog. Okay, K-Dog, I will remind you, back in like the late 80s, early 90s, they were doing that shit with coffee. I distinctly remember a line in Crocodile Dundee 2 where Crocodile Dundee meets Crocodile Dundee in Los Angeles meets George Hamilton, and George Hamilton talks about getting a coffee enema. A yogurt enema is not outside the realm of crazy in this world. Geronimo's, I'm not questioning that. I'm absolutely not questioning that. I'm just saying that people would do it is not outside the realm of insanity for all this.
Was weird about sex. He never even consummated his relationship with his wife. He's never had sex with his wife, and that just goes to show this guy wanted no one to have any fun with their penis. Eventually, despite his own protests, Kellogg's younger brother added sugar to this.
Not just the penis. He didn't want anyone having fun, regardless if you had a penis or a vagina. Considering what he wanted to do to lady parts, he wanted no one to have fun. He basically thought, I don't know how he thought people bred. I'm not sure if he understood how humans reproduced. Maybe he thought that humans reproduced via pods or eggs. But that's not how biology works, dude.
Disgustingly bland cornflakes, and they became a pantry staple. And despite Kellogg's best efforts and all the studies we talked about earlier, the FDA's most recent criteria for a healthy cereal has disqualified both Frosted Flakes and cornflakes. To be healthy, cereals have to contain 3/4 ounces of whole grains, no more than 1 gram of saturated fat and 230 milligrams of sodium, and less than 2.5 grams of sugar. Because of this, several healthy classic cereal brands are out of luck. Cornflakes, Honey Nut Cheerios, Life, and Special K all do not meet the FDA standards to be a healthy cereal, and the worst offender of
Life I get, because Life does taste very sweet. Special K? I actually have Special K. And yeah, I could see it being a little bit sweet. Honey Nut Cheerios, no big shocker there. Let's see. Cornflakes, I'm actually a little surprised by, because cornflakes actually don't taste very sweet, honestly. I don't find cornflakes to be very sweet. Honey Nut Cheerios, okay, no shock there. It's obvious sugar in there. Life as well. Regular life is indeed sweet, so there's undoubtedly sugar in there. Special K does surprise me a little bit, but it does taste a bit sweet, so I could see the sugar in there. Yeah, the Kellogg's the cornflakes one does surprise me as being considered too sugary because it doesn't taste sweet. Kellogg's cornflakes does not taste sweet to me.
Okay, all do not meet the FDA standards to be a healthy cereal, and the worst offender of this entire genre is Raisin Bran. I've been very public with my hate of Raisin Bran. It is a live cereal, and I'm gonna shit on it again. If you're looking,
I've never had Raisin Bran, so chat, tell me, does Raisin Bran taste sweet? I've never had it before. I don't like raisins. I know, hate on me all you want. I don't like raisins. But is Raisin Bran, raisins aside, is it sweet? Not really? Okay. Ah, the raisins are coated with sugar. Okay, okay, so the raisins themselves are sugar coated. Okay, makes sense.
looking at the Venn diagram of boring ass cereals and also terrible for you, that fucking Raisin Bran is right in the middle. It tastes like shit, it has raisins in it for some reason, and it still has more sugar than most horrible cereals. It's got more sugar than Marshmallow Fruity Pebbles, which I didn't even know existed. Fruit Loops with marshmallows, once again, and Lucky Charms. Raisin Bran is worse than eating a bowl of milk and marshmallows. But I'm not saying Fruity Pebbles is good for you. Most of the best-selling cereals in America aren't even in the same ballpark as these FDA regulations, which is probably why, according to the World Health Organization, 160 million children between the ages of 5 and 19 are obese. Hooray!
Right, I'm calling bullshit on blaming that on cereal. I'm 100% calling bullshit on childhood obesity issue on cereal. 100%. Because it's not cereal that's causing these children to get obese. It's parents letting these kids eat whatever the fuck they want after breakfast. It's where the kids eat, like, chocolate confections all fucking day long. They oversize portions constantly. I remember seeing, like, some of these kids that are, like, 8, 9 years old, I think, that are fucking huge, cramming goddamn, like, rotisserie chickens down their gullet. The consistent fast food, yes, Kenryu. You cannot point the finger at breakfast as being the cause of child obesity. You cannot. That is a fallacy. That is complete bullshit and coke. Absolute coke. Because you can blame childhood obesity. You can blame it on some of the foods, yes, but the finger points straight to the parents for letting their children eat whatever the fuck they want, whenever the fuck they want. That is where the childhood obesity epidemic comes from. This blaming cereal for it is 100% a fucking straw man argument. And it don't fucking work in the face of science. It does not work. By having a bowl of Lucky Charms in the morning, a kid having a bowl of Lucky Charms or Fruit Loops, even if it has marshmallows in the morning, is not going to make a kid turn into the goddamn Goodyear blimp. The kid's sitting inside, playing on their computer, playing on the console, playing on the tablet, eating whatever the fucking they want, eating monster-sized portions of whatever the fuck they want. That is what contributes to obesity. And if this jackass doesn't think otherwise, he's an idiot. I'll flat out say it. His argument is a straw man argument. It does not fly at all. And Shadow Wolf, now that I'm done ranting, thank you for the follow.
Personally, I'm thrilled that every single sugar cereal has a mascot directly marketing towards children. I think that's fantastic. I'd say make them unhealthy early on. That way, when the revolution comes, they won't be strong enough to pick up a rifle. And it doesn't even end with cereal. There are so many prepackaged sugar bombs that you are expected to eat in the morning just because it's a tradition. You have things like Hot Pockets and Jimmy Dean sandwiches, which I don't think you can even classify those things as food. And I mean, the worst thing that you can put in your—
Let's see, what Hot Pockets? This is not a breakfast! What the fuck is he talking about? This is not a breakfast. Hot Pockets are not even breakfast. What in the fuck is he talking about? He's going off. I'm like, he's going wildly off base here. This ain't breakfast. The Jimmy Dean sandwiches? Personally, these prepackaged sandwiches, I've tried one of these. They're not good. They are pretty disgusting. Are they contributory where if you have one of these to obesity? No. This one of these for breakfast is not going to contribute to obesity. Did he say other than breakfast? Let me hear him again.
Mascot directly marketing towards children. I think that's fantastic. I'd say make them unhealthy early on. That way when the revolution comes, they won't be strong enough to pick up a rifle. And it doesn't even end with cereal. There are so many prepackaged sugar bombs that you are expected to eat in the morning just because it's a tradition. You have things like Hot Pockets and
yeah, in the morning. Breakfast. Prepackaged sugar bombs that you eat, he said, in the morning. He specified morning, meaning breakfast. Hot Pockets are not marketed as a fucking breakfast. Yeah, but not these. The ones he's showing are not breakfast. He's literally showing pizza Hot Pockets. So his argument doesn't work. And again, even if he was to show breakfast Hot Pockets, because I'm pretty sure Hot Pockets probably does have like, they probably do have like egg and sausage Hot Pockets. I'm sure they do. But even if they do, it don't fucking matter. Having a Hot Pocket for breakfast is not the reason why people are obese. It is not. You are conflating false information with obesity, and he is patently ignoring about 1,000 different factors when it comes to obesity. So he is 100% strawmanning the fuck out of this.
And Jimmy Dean sandwiches, which I don't think you can even classify those things as food. And I mean, the worst thing that you can put in your body that has ever breached the breakfast market is a goddamn Pop-Tart. In 2022, 3 billion Pop-Tarts were sold.
Okay, I'll flat out admit Pop-Tarts are just Pop-Tarts are sugary pastries. A Pop-Tart is no better than a donut. Do I think Pop-Tart is good as a breakfast food? Like, is a Pop-Tart good to have as your breakfast meal? No. Because it's not going to give you the proper caloric or carbohydrate intake that you need for the day. No, I do not think a Pop-Tart is a good solo breakfast food. Pop-Tarts are good. My personal favorite is the chocolate Pop-Tarts. I like, haven't had any for a while, but I like chocolate Pop-Tarts. They are good at, it is a pastry, not a meal. I will give him that much. But it's also not causing obesity. Having a Pop-Tart for breakfast instead of saying like bacon and eggs is not causing obesity. Yeah, basically Dragon Rider, we are kind of going into that category here.
Humans cannot get enough of whatever the hell these things are supposed to be imitating. Pop-Tarts.
What is this? What the fuck is this? He didn't say toasters for a rubber bar because Pop-Tarts are far more popular, and everybody knows that a Pop-Tart is. Oh, it's a tort. A tart. Okay, one of those. Got it. Okay.
Pop-Tarts as a product are purely based on convenience. An easily portable food that doesn't require refrigeration that you can eat hot or cold. The innovation that led to Pop-Tarts actually came from World War II. From foil packaging to preservatives, the Pop-Tart was applying wartime food processes to the mass market. And who would have thought that the general population would love a breakfast treat that could survive a nuclear blast? When Pop-Tarts were introduced in 1960,
people love Twinkies. Just saying.
They came in 4 flavors that were at least pretending to be normal. You had strawberry, blueberry, brown sugar cinnamon, and apple currant, which I would guess 3 of those was more popular than the 4th. Then in 1967, they decided to slather on some frosting that wouldn't melt in heat, which that's normal. That's something you would want to put in your body. Then a few years later, they added sprinkles to the top of Pop-Tarts. That visual stimulation that the children need. By 1973, Pop-Tarts were coming in 19 flavors, which things were getting weird at this point, I will say. Fast forward 50 years, and we are now making flavors that we are and can't even pretend that they're okay to eat. I just got a list of current Pop-Tart flavors, and you
There
tell
we
me
go.
what you think about these. We got chocolate chip. That's just a cookie. You're eating cookies for breakfast. You have hot
Yeah.
fudge.
Yeah. Like, we'll make no mistake. Pop-Tarts are pastry. They are... Look at what they're called on the box itself. They're called pastries. They're fucking called pastries. And I'm reasonably sure, I'm not 100% sure because I don't watch TV anymore. Pop-Tarts still advertised as a breakfast food. Are these things still advertised as a breakfast food? Because I don't believe they are. Are they? They are advertised as breakfast food? Okay. But are they advertised as the sole thing to eat for breakfast, or are they advertised as something to eat along with the rest of your breakfast foods? Because I would have to imagine they're not advertised as like, this is all you need to eat for breakfast. They're advertised as a grab-and-go breakfast. Okay. As a breakfast dessert, which makes sense, drowning those. That makes perfect sense. Okay. That makes sense. So yeah, I see factories in grab and go, and they're advertised as like a breakfast dessert. Okay. And like, yeah, for grab and go breakfast, you're not eating, again, that goes along the whole lines of, work environment and stuff like that, which is a whole different thing. They do right
Get
best.
hot fudge sundae, which is not even the same form of matter, and also you should not eat that for breakfast. S'mores, this one kind of makes sense. Still unbelievably unhealthy. Strawberry milkshake, once again, that should be a liquid. Confetti cupcake, Boston cream donut, and Apple Jacks. They put the unhealthy fucking cereal into the unhealthy breakfast pastry. I'm not even sure you can classify these things as pastries. When interviewed for the Smithsonian magazine, here's what one physician had to say about Pop-Tarts.
I have not had any of these Pop-Tarts. The only Pop-Tarts I've had is strawberry frosted, blueberry frosted, and chocolate frosted. Those are the only Pop-Tarts I've had. And I've never eaten Pop-Tarts as a breakfast. I've always, for all my life, had Pop-Tarts as a snack. They have 100% just been a snack. That's it. And that's kind of how they should be. Yeah.
It raises your blood glucose to astronomical highs, which then makes your pancreas squeeze out a ton of insulin. This bottoms you out so you're hungry for another Pop-Tart, which you have, then you get fat and you get diabetes.
Wait, who did he say said this? What bullshit scientist?
These things as pastries. When interviewed for the Smithsonian magazine, here's what one physician had to say about Pop-Tarts. It raises your blood glucose to astronomical highs, which then makes your pancreas squeeze out a ton of insulin. This bottoms you out so you're hungry for another Pop-Tart, which you have, then you get fat and you get diabetes.
Cite your fucking source or it doesn't count, asshat. Where is the peer-reviewed studies of this wild statement that you just fucking made? Please. I bet you he doesn't have a fucking source or a peer-reviewed study to back up this claim. This is the equivalent of man shouts at the sky. Yeah, his source, I made it the fuck up. Exactly. Like, it raises your glucose to astronomical highs. Really? All my life, I've been able to consume a Pop-Tart and not suddenly feel an insane sugar rush because my glucose levels went to an astronomical high. And I'm not hungry for another Pop-Tart. Chat, this may shock you. I hope you're sitting down, which, if you're watching my stream, I presume you're sitting down. I hope you're sitting down for this. This may shock you. I have actually been able to have a singular Pop-Tart and actually go, I'm good, and not eat the second Pop-Tart. I've been able to do this on many occasions. Yes, I know. I know I've just destroyed your image of me. I'm willing to accept this. I'm willing to accept the beatings for ruining my stellar reputation with you guys. But I cannot deny facts. I'm sorry, I cannot deny the facts. I think from heresy to she is the chosen one. I'm gonna take the chosen one. Thank you, Stark Monkey. Welcome back, Technopath. Yeah, and of course, you're hungry, eat another Pop-Tart, which you have, then you get fat and diabetes. Really? If you're gonna get fat and get diabetes from 2 Pop-Tarts, methinks that you maybe have some much more serious medical problems that you need checked. Like, both this guy and this, like, honestly, I want to know where, okay, chat, if you want to, he said this was done for, hang on, I'm gonna get his quote again. Hang on.
These things as pastries. When interviewed for the Smithsonian magazine, here's what one physician had to say about Pop-Tarts.
Alright, so a physician interviewed by the Smithsonian magazine said this. Chat, if you are willing and don't wish to acquire brain damage, or don't mind acquiring brain damage, feel free to try and source this article. I will pull it up on fucking string. If you guys are able to find this article, I will pull it up on fucking string and look at it on string. Because because I have a feeling this article may not actually exist, in which case he's lying. If he's not, and the article actually exists, I will happily debunk everything the motherfucker says.
Insulin. This bottoms you out so you're hungry. Start your day with these things. It's fucking insanity. Next time you wake up craving a bowl of sugar smacks and a strip of greasy bacon, just remember that a sex-obsessed creep invented the entire concept of breakfast. Like, comment, and subscribe, dude. This shit was crazy. New videos every Saturday and Sunday. Oh, I didn't even talk about juice. There's more sugar in a glass of orange juice than a Pepsi.
Albrecht, DM it to me in Discord right now. I'm pulling it up on stream. DM it to me in Discord right fucking now.
While technically certain foods
Oh shit.
are better than
Sheer
others,
100%, 28%, 27 meters percent, 20,100% percent, 20 convinced percent, 20 that percent, 20
Damn it, doing
percent,
TTSs.
20 is percent, 20 just percent, 20 totally percent, 20 rage percent, 20 dating percent, 20 for percent, 20 engagement
in relation to
percent, 20
activity
almost
level
percent,
when
20
it
everything
comes to
percent,
weight.
20 he percent, 20 has percent, 20 said percent, 20 seems percent, 20 deigned percent, 20 to percent, 20 trigger percent, 20 someone percent, 20 so percent, 20 their percent, 20 post percent, 20 arguments percent, 20 inches percent, 20 his percent, 20 comments percent, 20 to percent, 20 push percent, 20 him percent, 20 inches percent, 20 the percent, 20 algorithm.
Chat, lesson. Do not put the percentage sign in TTS. If you're gonna send anything TTS, don't put the percentage symbol. You see what happens. So let me read this. I'm 100% convinced that this guy is totally rage baiting for engagement. Almost everything he said seemed designed to trigger someone, so they're post arguments in his comments to push him in the algorithm. I'm gonna check his comments. And then the Space Marine said, well, technically certain foods are better than others. Calories themselves are just a form of energy. So while different macro and micronutrients like proteins and vitamins do different things to the body, ultimately it comes down to calories in versus calories out in relation to activity levels when it comes to weight. Correct. Okay. Let me find where this person now, okay, so this article in the Smithsonian came out this year in May. Let me find where this guy said this. Okay, found it. Here we go. So this man is, what's his name? Where is he? Where's his name? Howard Merkel, an American physician and medical historian who wrote 2017's The Kellogg's Battling Brothers of Battle Creek. Okay, so Howard, what? Wait, what? Did this motherfucker misspell his name? This freelance writer misspelled his fucking name from one paragraph to the next. His name is Howard Markle, and then he misspelled it to Frankel. Oh my sweet fuck. Oh my sweet fuck. Here's what... he did say he's a freelancer. Here's what happens when you eat a Pop-Tart, Frankel says. It raises your blood glucose to astronomical highs, which then makes your pancreas gives that some blah, blah, blah. This is all the more ironic because... Okay, so let's look up Howard Markle, shall we? Okay. American physician and medical historian. He retired from the University of Michigan, where he served as the Distinguished Professor of History of Medicine. Born in Detroit, he received a Bachelor of Arts in English from the University of Michigan and earned his MD from the University of Michigan Medical School. For his internship, fellowship in pediatrics at Johns Hopkins. Medical historian by training, earned his PhD in the history of medicine science from Johns Hopkins. So where's his studies? Where is his studies to say that it does this? Where's his data? Where is his data? I'm gonna actually look up this quote. Oh. Big shock. First Baptist Church Brian is quoting it. Incorrectly, mind you, is putting the Frankel thing there. Hang on. Let's complete this with evidence. I don't need. Shocking. Alright, let's try Howard Merkel Pop-Tart evidence. Interesting. I'm not finding anything for evidence. Let's try Pop-Tarts medical study. Interesting. I see no medical studies. I'm seeing no medical studies at all. It's his transcript. Isn't that interesting? No medical studies to substantiate this fucking claim. Zero proof whatsoever. His proof is I made it the fuck up. Or as someone in chat said, I saw a lot of heavy kids, so they must be eating Pop-Tarts. Unless this doctor wants to produce some medical studies to back up these wild-ass fucking claims, or show me some kind of a peer-reviewed study to back up these wild-ass fucking claims, Go fuck yourself. Your evidence is you made it the fuck up. And I don't believe it. Everything you just said was said out of, I don't like seeing fat kids. One of Markle's books is the miracle drug cocaine. Why am I not surprised? So, yeah. So, yes, that quote was real. From that video, the quote was indeed real. The doctor's a fucking quack. No, he has an MD. He does have a medical degree. He did earn a medical degree from University of Michigan Medical School. And he did complete internship, residency, and fellowship in pediatrics at Johns Hopkins School of Medicine and Johns Hopkins Hospital. So he does have an MD. He does. Just because he has an MD does not mean he's an intelligent person. There's a difference between being studied and actually thinking rationally. This man ain't. So, yeah, Mr. Howard Markle, number one, George Wakeman, who wrote this article, couldn't be bothered to spell your fucking name right. Number one. He couldn't be bothered to properly edit his own fucking article from one paragraph to the next. Bravo. And your statement is bullshit. Because you cannot provide evidence to back up any of your claims. You can't. There are no studies for it, otherwise you would have cited them. If you had any evidence, you would have cited it in that statement. But you don't. Because you're an idiot.